Ahmeti dhe të tjerë që kanë punuar në këtë projekt.
Well, it definitely helped to create a kind of collaboration and cohesion. And I think it's also in Manifesta in Palermo, we called the mayor the fourth curator. So he was really involved in the team. I think it's also like what Manifesta, and I think Perparim knows this very well, what Manifesta makes different than any other biennale, because there are hundreds of biennales in the world, is that we work with Kosovar people, with the different communities, and try to do something for the Kosovar people, involving them in every aspect. Yesterday, we did an open forum. We did several, we call it citizen consultation. That meant that we involved citizens in asking, how do you see the future of the city? What is the relevance of culture for your community? How do you want the city to be changed? What is important for you when you visit with your family? What is important in terms of connecting green spaces? How do you spend your leisure time? So these kind of questions were asked. We're going to translate the findings of these, let's say, investigations into the program of Manifesta, not only in terms...
Programi është ende në zhvillim e sipër, nuk është vendosur tërësisht, pra është procesi konsultime dhe pastaj do të marrë formën përfundimtare.
It is in the consultation process. We're now investigating the venues. So, as I said, reclaiming public space. How can we make sure that the public space in the future in Pristina becomes a common ground where everybody wants to spend? So we're now investigating which 23, 24, 25 spaces along a parcours, partly green, partly symbolic spaces, will serve as such. We're going to work in the Hotel Grand, which is this iconic building, very much symbolic building. Maybe many people haven't visited it. Maybe it can be transformed into something extraordinary. We're going to transform permanently the Hifsi Suleimani Library in a kind of community space center for the communities. So this is a very important, and maybe one example, but there will be many examples, the Kinorinia, one space where artistic interventions will take place. Then there will be huge education and mediation program, because we are aware that it's not common for people to visit art shows, architecture events, etc. So how can we manage through education and mediation that all citizens coming to Manifesta, it's not for the elite, it is for a broad group of people, and we want to attract them in their own language. So there will be special programs for the Roma community, for the Ascali community, in Turkish, in Serbian and Albanian, and of course also all our communication will be in this. And I can imagine people might say, I was never into art, but it's not about going into art. It is about, and that's the important for everybody, it's about the future of your city. It's about the future of your environment. It's about the future, how can we live together in a kind of cohesive space, which is healthy, which is created for well-being. And that's not about Manifesta. Manifesta is the only mediator. We're the facilitator. But in principle, and I think that's why we are both, I think, so proud that we have such a lovely Kosovar team who are developing this program. We have a wonderful collaboration with the Minister of Culture, Mr. Harula Cheko, who's helping us a lot, and his team. So it is a collaboration, cross-sectoral, between different departments, different communities, and I'm super proud of it.
Me 22 korik fillon dhe zgjat për 100 ditë. Tash për ta pasur më të qartë edhe qytetarët, çka do të ndodhë në ditën e parë, në dytën e tretën? Ju përmendet se janë rreth 25 vende ku do të zhvillohet programi, ku do të ketë aktivitete. Çka mund të pret një person që thotë, mirë, unë do të qëndroj, do të shkoj në Prishtinë në javën e parë, në dytën, në tretën, çka mund të bëj? Ku të shkoj, si t'i qaset?
Well, I think what many people might like is to go and visit those spaces which were maybe closed, like the Hotel Grand, and there will be 7 floors developed. Exhibition, performances, readings, talks, photography. Then there will be more than 100 artists Kosovar artists 1/3, but also international architects, philosophers, writers, maybe musicians coming to Pristina to work in public space. So you might see sculptures, you might see gardens. Then there will be a huge installation. It's called an eco-urban learning center in the former brick factory to understand how can this be transformed, and people will be invited to participate, maybe in terms of theater, food, could be gardening. Then in the Hifsi Suleimani will be activated with education projects, but also maybe children can make a radio program, you can do a podcast there, maybe there's even a small video and television studio. There will be making spaces, because we understand also there's so much, let's say, knowledge here, from handicraft to other forms where artists excel. So there will be spaces where artists can do things, but you can also walk around the city and see all kind of super exciting things. We're expecting 2,000 journalists from all over the world. At the end of March, the first group is going to come to Pristina. People are quite excited.
Pra, gazetarët kanë filluar të akreditohen për të ardhur, apo është një pritje juaja e përgjithshme se